Hello, hello, hello. This is Adrienne Obi, CapricornTigress of Astrology, A Look Inside. And I'm so proud of myself for actually coming and going live today. Not sure if anyone will see me because it's in the middle of the night. It's about 11:20 here in Seattle, Washington. I'm sure that's about 1 o'clock on the East Coast. But I wanted to at least come and say something because it's been so long since I've come to do readings anywhere. And so I wanted to do that because, well, that's what I do. Now, you're only getting my avatar tonight. I'm not actually showing my face because I'm not in the mood to do that. And I'm going to discuss why that is, or why I think it is, and what I believe is going on based on where the planets are. I'm going to talk about where the planets are, because that's what I love to do. And then after I discuss where the planets are, then I will perhaps do some readings. Okay. So that's, and no matter what, I want to do some readings for the beginning of the month for the signs. Okay. So let's begin with this new journey. I feel like I'm coming back after a long hiatus. For those who don't know, I had a family tragedy. I lost my grandchild, and my daughter's fine, but it was just not a pretty time for us. But we're coming out of it. So today. The sun is at 10 degrees of Libra. I can't believe the sun is already at 10 degrees of Libra. Where have I been? I'm missing it all. The moon is at 28 degrees of Leo. And, I think maybe that's what gave me this oomph, this push to come out here. First of all, I was born with my Saturn at 10 degrees of Aquarius. And, the sun is actually trying 10 degrees of Aquarius today. So it just was a flow. And I think it's part of my Saturn that's kind of holding me back, that it's a heaviness. Saturn's very heavy. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the sun's at 10 degrees of Libra. And that does trine my Saturn. But it is, I think it's an urge for people who want to go and extend themselves out to others. And because Libra is other oriented, that's part of the Libra charm, is being other oriented and not so much into ourselves, but really wanting to help others. Now, the crazy thing is, as I look, the sun might be at 10 degrees of Libra, but Chiron is at 10 degrees of Aries. In other words, Chiron is opposing the sun. And it's a really strange opposition because Chiron, the wounded healer, I always think of, Chiron is always crying, always. So imagine someone who's always in tears, always crying, always in pain of some kind. And then there's an opposition, like the sun is shining on the other side, literally, of Chiron. So maybe this might be a good time to work out some issues. This might be a great time to work out painful issues that deal with relationships, perhaps relationships from your past, or even just the relationship issue. I know for myself, I've been really working on it's a long story, but I have a bunch of videos, and I invite you all, by the way, to join me at gregarious.flicksters.com. Gregarious.flicksters.com is my area where I have all of my media. Okay, that's my videos and my podcasts and articles. Now I'm still building it. It's still in its baby stages, but there's probably close to 1,500 videos there now. So I invite everyone to go to Gregarious and hang out at Gregarious because I literally live there. I go to sleep to some of those meditations that are there. I wake up to some of those meditations. I put all my favorite people there. People like Alicia Hartzell is there, and myself, of course, and Brian Scott. I love him. And there's another girl who I just absolutely adore. Is her name Jennifer? I'm trying to remember her last name. I wanted to give her props because I listened to her literally every night. But you can find people like Oprah Winfrey and Ryan Smith and Lewis Howes and Finance Girl, because I talk about money and all of these different people who have their own presence beyond anything I do at Gregarious. But I've brought them in to Gregarious. And what I love about that is, let's say you're on YouTube and you're watching these same, by the way, the girl I was trying to think of, her name is Jess Shepherd. Jess Shepherd. Just the most calming, beautiful voice to listen to for meditation. Just absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, I listen to her all day or all night, at least at night. And it's she's kind of ASMR, okay? Just so that you know, her voice is that soothing, that relaxing. So you kind of get that ASMR feeling from her, but it's so soothing. And I think it's wonderful because when you're going into guided meditation, you really want to be in that spot where you're just totally at peace, totally relaxed. And Jess Shepherd gets me there every single time. Anyway, I wanted to give a shout out. Sorry, I didn't mean to go and promote in the middle of this. There's so much there, and I'm adding more there every day. Also, I'm going to be adding paid courses there so that you can actually go and get the video courses right there, or audio or whatever, right there on gregarious.flixters.com. So I wanted to share that. I thought that was amazing, right? That's amazing. And so that's what I wanted to talk about. Next, let's go back to where the planets are, because I really wanted to make sure you guys get all the details on where the planets are. And I'll put some music behind us as I go and do that, okay? So as I was mentioning, the moon is at 28 degrees of Leo. Actually, right, it's squaring my Venus at 28 degrees of Scorpio. And but I think it's, again, for me anyway, it's other oriented. For other people, I don't know how the moon in Leo affected you. Usually it's a very outy type of moon, so some people might have been out there. I know I was preparing my comeback, which this is, doing my lives for you. And very Leo, right? Coming back into the spotlight after being away. So some people might have been doing that. Mercury is retrograde and it's at 23 degrees of Libra right now. And, the funny thing about Libra is that it naturally is unsure. It's the most ambiguous sign of the zodiac. And what I mean by that is, it's always weighing the pros and cons. It's never quite sure. It's always got that, the weights of balance of justice, the balance of justice. All of that comes into play when Mercury is in Libra, but now in its retrograde. And I really think that a lot of people are going to use this time of this Libra retrograde to go back over things that have to do with their relationships, the balance perhaps in your relationships and partnerships, maybe reviewing what's not working or reviewing what is. So that's one of those things I think might be going on for people. Remember, Libra is always about balance, and it's always about others. It's always about the relationships that we're building and establishing. And it's always, at the bottom of it all, about love. It is. It's always about love, even Mercury. So it may be that you're thinking about love, talking to love, reading up on it because it's Mercury. But I think we're just kind of doing a backtrack, reviewing, renewing, reevaluating, regenerating, reestablishing all of those things are happening now. Venus is at 25 degrees of Scorpio, and that is almost on my Venus. So we have got a setup here where the moon today was square Venus. Um, it's square at Venus right now. So I hope that whatever I'm saying, that it is resonating with whoever is hearing it right now, because that square is occurring. Mars is at 11 degrees of Libra, which means that the Sun and Mars are conjoined. And perhaps that is a push toward relationships for some people. That's putting action behind the love, behind the balance, behind the relationships. I just saw that I've got a hello out there. Hello, Facebook user, whoever's out there with me. Much love to you. But we've got this balance. I think we're all in this midst of this amazing balancing beam, this balancing act that's going on with so much Libra right now, and especially with the Sun and Mars on top of each other that way. So you might have some activity. You might want to do more than you have been. And I can honestly say, I perked up, right? I showed up tonight. I haven't showed up in ages. And so this this is that Mars push. When Mars conjuncts the Sun, it kind of pushes you. And I might be late, and it might be almost midnight, but I did come and do it. And I think a lot of people are looking at that. Also, you might be finding that balancing, just that equilibrium. Because at the end of the day, Libra is about establishing your equilibrium. And I think that's what people are working on now. Jupiter is still retrograde. It's at 22 degrees of Aquarius. Now, I don't know where 22 degrees of Aquarius is in your chart, but can I just tell you, girlfriend has been dealing with Jupiter in the first house. And Jupiter in the first house ain't no joke. Now, thank goodness it only happens every 12 years. But I don't, my little face, I noticed my little face was looking a little plump. And I've had to seriously work on my eating patterns. And that may be because Saturn is in Aquarius as well. And Saturn's also retrograding. But Saturn is also in my first house near my Saturn at 10 degrees of Aquarius and near my Mercury. So I feel like, yeah, there might be some weight gain, but Saturn's working on it to make sure it doesn't happen. But you might have, I don't know where this Jupiter falls in your chart, because Jupiter likes to do things big. It likes to do things big. And even though it's retrograding, going backwards, it's just going back to do things big in the area that it didn't do things big in before. So let's say you lost weight last year. Be careful about regaining it, because Jupiter is, especially if it's in your first house, right? So you might be going through that. Saturn in Aquarius, it's about to go direct soon. I believe either next week or week after. It's been a long time coming, and that Saturn in Aquarius for me has been hard, because I have my Saturn in Aquarius. And so I really have blamed the Saturn for a lot of what's been going on in my life with my family, because I saw it coming. Saturn does that. Saturn's very, very much that way. And Saturn is retrograding. Uranus is at 14 degrees of Taurus. It's also retrograding. And that is trying my Sun. So I really feel that. Neptune, 21 degrees of Pisces, retrograding. So much retrograde here. Pluto, 24 degrees of Capricorn, retrograding. And that Pluto is square Mercury. I mean, I don't know what you guys are hearing when you're hearing me right now, but it's a square. I'm grateful I came out. I came back and redid what I haven't done in a while. I just reopened StreamYard. I haven't been on this since June. So that's what retrogrades are doing. They make us go back and revisit things. And lastly, the North Node is retrograde at 3 degrees of Gemini. So think about where 3 degrees of Gemini is in your chart. Now, I can tell you, I'm a little bit concerned. And I hate it when I say these things because I know when I do, I'm putting it into the universe, but it's already out there. But once I think it may have or may be going into my 4th house. So the North Node is going to move into my 4th house while Saturn is in my 1st house. I am not happy about that. I pray for my health. Please keep me in your prayers. I've got a year of this to go. Pray for me. Okay. Anyway, I've done where the planets are. And I don't know where they're falling your chart. So here's what I would like to say. If you don't know where the planets fall in your chart, like you don't know where, if it's in your 3rd house, your 2nd house, your 8th house, your 10th house, if it's conjunct this or conjunct that, if you don't know those things, I invite you now to reach out to me, CapricornTigress of Astrology, alookinside.com. Go to astrologyalookinside.com and go to our shop. There's a shop there at astrologyalookinside.com, and you've got choices. There's computerized readings, there's personal readings, there's digital products. There's so much there, and I want to add more things there that you can gain knowledge and learn more about astrology, about tarot, about metaphysical things. You know, all of the esoteric practices. I want to add all of those things there at Astrology Look Inside. So go find what is there and what resonates with you and go get that, especially if it's going to help you to understand where the planets are in your own horoscope chart. Okay. So anyway, this has been Where the Planets Are. And this has been Adrian, Capricorn Tigress of Astrology Look Inside. I don't see many people out there, and that's fine. I'm just doing this off the cuff here tonight. So, you know, it is what it is. I do know that we've got a full moon coming up. Excuse me, new moon. I'll go in and make sure I'm saying the right thing. I believe it's the new moon. Right? Yeah, on the 6th. There it is. Yeah. Just I knew it was coming, but I wasn't sure, exactly if it was the 6th, the 5th. So it's going to happen at 13 degrees of Libra, which upsets me because that's square my sun. I'm not happy. Okay. I mean, Libra and Mars are they're forming a square. They're already in square formation with my sun. And as I said, I'm worried about my health. Pray for me. I'm going to say it one more time. Just keep me in your prayer because we need that. But we're going to have a stellium in Libra on the 6th of October. The new moon will be in the sign of Libra. And so we're going to see a lot, of things that have to do with partnerships. I see here, it's, I just went over and saw something that Astrology King has where he says it could be about revenge. Could be about revenge. Because it makes a difficult aspect to Uranus, and that's rebellion and impatience. And we've got Saturn in Aquarius anyway, and that is rebellion. I'm just saying, Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn's a co-ruler of Aquarius, so a lot of people have been feeling that their rights have been infringed, and so I think that this might be something that might bring out some unrest. He talks about the unrest of it all. As a double Capricorn, I sense the unrest because for me, it's a square to me. So, that's something that I'm not looking forward to, is unrest, right? But just be aware of accidents and violence and things of that when the new moon is on Mars. I mean, it does bring courage, but it can also bring hot energy and destructive energies and, irritation and annoyance and impatience. So slow down, slow down. I think some people might want to rush through over the next couple of days, over this new moon. And I just don't think that's a good idea to rush when the Mars is on the new moon. So slow down, take your time, do everything with extreme patience, because you might feel impatient and want to do things a lot faster than they need to be done. Anyway, that's my take on things, and I've said what I have to say. So I tell you what, let's do this. Since you put up with me talking about where the planets are, I'm going to come down and do something a little bit different, which is I'm going to pull some cards for you. I'm going to pull cards for everybody because I don't want to take up too much time. And I don't see a lot of users out there, not like anyone's making any requests or anything. So I'm just going to do some general card pulls here that I can apply. First of all, I'll do some overall. And then if I feel like I have it in me to do all 12 signs, like pull a card or two and tell you something, I will do that as well, okay? So let's see what we got. I mean, I waited to almost midnight, so, that's all right, that's what happens. Okay, let's see. Oh, wow. So, okay. Okay, so we are, isn't that funny that I got that? Oh, wow. Okay. I'm just pulling 5 cards. I just want to give an overview of this week, that's what I want to do. So let's see. Okay, that's the 5 cards. And I just realized that only had 30 seconds. What? How is that even possible? I'm going to have to fix that. I don't understand how that is even possible. Let me check something else. Hold on 1 second. Okay, let's see. What is this on here? Yeah, there we go. Like 30 seconds. What's this one? Okay, I will go here. Okay, how's that? Okay, so I've got those there. I've got the 5 cards I pulled. This is the overall 5 card pull for everyone based on Moonology cards. You can't see them, but I can. It's because I'm in hiding. I told you I got Saturn in the first house. You'll get my representative or avatar until, I guess until Saturn goes direct, probably. We've got, by the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 planets are planets are retrograde right now. Just so that you know that. I included the North Node in that. Okay. So here are the 5 moon cards. The first card was the moon, the new moon in Scorpio. We're about to have a new moon in Libra. So I thought it was amazing that we got the new moon in Scorpio as the first card. First of all, the new moon in Scorpio asks us to work through our fears. Work through our fears. And I have a feeling that that might be something that we have to do. Now, the new moon in Libra is going to be in Libra. So maybe people are going to be working through their fears when it comes to relationships and love. And I want to share something that's a little bit private, but I'll share it. So I was talking earlier about Jess Shepherd and listening to her guided meditation. She has a lot of sleep meditations. And one of her guided meditations was about bringing in new love, like a new relationship, imagining your new partner and love filling your life and coming back into your life. And I was envisioning it. I was really trying to go into it. And I felt the arms of this beloved person putting their arms around me. And it was like a back hug, you know what I mean? And I started to cry because, first of all, I don't think I've been open really to having a new relationship. And I've got to be honest about that. I have not been open to a new relationship. So, facing working through the fears of what that means to have that new relationship, to let someone in and let down your guard and be, vulnerable. That is how I think it may work out for a lot of people, because we're talking about Libra. Libra is the relationship sign, and when the new moon is there, I really think it's going to usher in new relationships. Mars is there, so the urge to rush in these new relationships, I think, is there, but we'll have to work through the fears. And I think that's what this new moon in Scorpio wants to tell us, not to mention the fact that next month will be a new moon in Scorpio. So this card suggests a rebirth. This is about starting over. It's about rebirth. We're in that phase of redoing things, right? Think of your situation as the phoenix that's rising from the ashes, as the birth, death, rebirth paradigm. That's what Scorpio energy is all about. Whatever you've been through, there's a new start ahead. It might be a little dark. It might be a little dark. Could be, right? So, I mean, that is possible. It might be a little dark. So just be aware of that it might be. And that it certainly won't be rainbows and unicorns, okay? Because I got that new moon in Scorpio card. But this card suggests that if you know you're magical, then it's time to work your magic. And it can also herald the start of a sexier time. There it is, sexier. If you've been experiencing something of a drought, we're talking a sexual drought, y'all. And emotional intimacy is also on the menu. Lord, I'm telling you, I had the dream in the meditation. I tell you. Anyway, Scorpio is a sign that likes to go deep into the body, mind, and spirit. So when this card comes up, there's nothing superficial about what's coming your way. And it says, attuned to the moon, have a sexy time. Extra meanings is time to let go of a grudge you're holding. And for me, I had to realize I've let go. I don't even, no grudge at all. Nothing, no hard feelings with the ex. Move on from jealousy. Stop being obsessive. Could it be that you're being paranoid? Could be. And also make an investment. Scorpio is the sign of death and rebirth, magic and shamans. Its energy is a little bit dark, occult, or even scary. Not all of us like to face the shadow, but Scorpio demands it. In fact, it's through working through your dark side that you can get to the light. And the new moon in Scorpio and the appearance of this card at any other time suggests that you need to get to the light right now. And next was the gibbous moon. And the gibbous moon is like, it's growing, it's growing, it's growing. And so from, the lowest point, which is the new moon, it's going to be growing. I think this message is that as of this new moon in Libra on the 6th, we're going to be growing toward that Scorpio moon. So maybe you'll establish or looking to establish the new relationships during the phase of the Libra moon. But the sexy time, I believe, will come in during that Scorpio moon. And then we got the super moon, and its emotions are running high. I'm telling you, this is all about those emotions. This is what that is. And then we got the full moon in Sagittarius. So look, I love that, because I believe like right after, we'll have a new moon in Sagittarius coming up in December, but it's about looking at the bigger picture. It's looking at the bigger picture. And then it ended on the new moon in Gemini. And that communication is the key. This was a very special message. I think that anyone who really wants to take advantage of this new moon in Libra, which is establishing and building the new relationships, right? Establishing and building those new relationships. If you're able to do that, if you're able to establish those new relationships during this phase, then I believe during the time of the Scorpio new moon, which comes up next month, it'll begin to grow. It'll grow into something. And I think this is going to be enhanced by communications, because it ended on the new moon in Gemini. Communication is the key. So that's my overall reading, by the way. And I love that it ended on the new moon in Gemini, because that's a trine to this new moon in Libra. And it also, it just lets me know maybe, 9 months from now, it might build into something really amazing. So this is important. 9 months from now is also children. So someone might be, that could happen 9 months from now. I'm going to pull out one more general deck, because that's how I'm doing it tonight, because it's my first night back. I don't see a lot of people out there, and so I'm not doing anyone in particular. I've already done some readings for each of the signs. You can go to youtube.com /astrology, look inside to see what the general readings are for the 12 zodiac signs. I did put those on the YouTube channel. Okay, so those are there. And I could do intuitive readings, but I think I'll do that so you can see the cards, and I'll use Zoom when I do that instead of the StreamYard. Just two different ways of doing things, that's all. I might just record them either way, okay? Just know they're coming. The intuitive readings. And I'll pull these cards, and then maybe, just maybe, I'll just kind of give you an overview of what I think. I might record that. I think the astrology readings for each of the signs. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, okay. I'm going to pull out a couple of cards here. Let's see. Can't believe that came out. Amazing. Okay. Sometimes these messages really are the messages. Oh, wow. So that's what it's telling me, really? That's what you want to tell me? Oh, it's unlikely success. Oh, I get it. It's not success unlikely. It's unlikely success. That's a whole different wording. Okay, so I've got a couple. Yeah, it's telling me all pretty much the same thing here. Yeah, okay, so here's what I've got. Here's another card poking up. Okay, yep. Okay, so I've got a bunch of cards here, and I'm going to tell you a story, because that's how I do this. So communicate clearly, and this is a general. Take this as it affects you. If this message is for you, you will know. Okay, so this is how I do it. So communicate clearly, remain positive, and take action. There's going to be a peaceful resolution, so look for a sign. Unlikely success, and improving health. Recovery. The situation will improve, so don't stop. Abundance, there's no need to worry. That was a very healing message. That seems like we're recovering. That there's going to be unlikely success. It's going to be better than it is. And at the bottom of the deck was yes, all of that. All of that in a bag of chips. I'm feeling it, okay? So you guys, let me see what I'm going to do. If I will do this for the signs. Let me just see what I will tell people about this Libra moon. What will I tell people about the Libra moon? So for Libra, I will tell you, Libras, this is going to be happening in your first house. So Libras, this is one of those situations where it's going to affect you directly. It'll affect you directly, Libra. I mean, it's a new moon, so you're going to be renewing, just like it said, recovery, unlikely success, all of those things, maybe in relationships, coming out of nowhere, Libra. And, I don't know what you've been through or what kind of pain you have experienced, but I believe that, as time goes on, this is only going to get better for you, because this is your time. This is your time to recover, to renew yourself, to regenerate yourself, to get back to where you need to be. So if you've been feeling like you've been off your game, well, be off your game no more, because this is your time. This is your time. Okay. And I know this can it can be a little bit daunting if you're not sure, like if you've been through a bad patch and you're not sure, because that happens and you're like, wait a minute. But be open to the change, be open to the renewal, be open to renewal. Okay. And maybe even renewing your vows if you're in a marriage, or renewing your desire to be in a relationship. All of that, just be open to it. Okay, Libra. So next is Scorpio. And Scorpio, this is going to be happening in your 12th house. You've got emphasis in the 12th house. And that just tells me some Scorpios are going to be a little bit more mystical than they already are. Just getting in some inside scoops from the, the ephemeral realm, from the metaphysical realm, from the where we don't know, deep answers and insights that no one else understands but Scorpio. And I also, Scorpio, you might feel like you want to sleep more. There might be an urge to get more sleep, and you might get messages in your sleep. You might find that you're daydreaming more. I would say be careful of, too many drinking and drugging. I mean, because the 12th house is the house of drinking and drugging. No one really talks about it like me, but I keep it real. It's the house of drinking and drugging. And if, when there's emphasis in that house, the urge to drink and drug will be high. Okay. Just now. So I when I see, the new moon in the 12th house, I just see people crossfaded. That's just me. Or it can come out, especially since we're dealing with Libra or relationships, it can come out in secret affairs. It can come out in cheating, like, because some people with the 12th house emphasis likes to do things in secret. It gets off on it. And you're a Scorpio, and Scorpios like doing things in secret. So Scorpio, I hope y'all ain't stepping out on your significant others. Be careful of that. Because the 12th house is the house of self-undoing. It means the stuff you're doing when it's in the 12th house can undo you. So be careful. Next is the Sagittarius. And Saggy, this is happening in your 11th house. And I love that. That to me just speaks of joy and happiness. Sagittarius are naturally very optimistic anyway. One of the most optimistic signs is Sagittarius. And I love that this is happening in the 11th house of hopes, dreams, and wishes. Maybe you'll, and also it's a house of like groups and clubs and organizations. And, you might reach out, you might get new friends, doing more things, feeling happy, just kind of being in a really optimistic place, which I think that'll be great for Saggy. So take advantage of it, Sagittarius. What is your hope, dream, or wish? What do you hope you really want to happen? And whatever that is, go for that now. This would be the time. Let's see, Capricorns. Oh, Capricorns. Capricorns, this is all about your reputation, all about coming out and stepping into the spotlight. And just expressing yourself in your career. It's about maybe reestablishing yourself in your career, and just finding balance when it comes to your career, perhaps finding love and relationships and working with others in your career. But it's about that balance. So make sure you find that balance, Capricorn, when it comes to your career. Maybe there might be a little bit of work-life balance issues going on, over the next few weeks. So be careful of that, Cappy, and make sure you keep that work-life balance in order. But do shine in your career, because it's a new moon. That means it's a renewal. It's a time that your career is renewing itself. It's kind of regenerating. And isn't it amazing that I came back to come and do a live reading after about a month? And that's what I mean about renewing, coming back and reestablishing yourself again. So some Capricorns might be doing that. Good luck, Cappy. Next, we have Aquarius. And Aquarius, this is happening in your 9th house. This is a spiritual time for Aquarius. This could be all about spirituality, about I don't know, learning about the spirituality. Maybe you're in courses or classes or learning things about meditation and astro travel and all different types of really woo-woo things. But this is a very woo-woo time for Aquariuses. So I can see Aquariuses doing all kind of woo-woo stuff. Now, the other way it could come out is education. Some Aquariuses might be going back to school. It is October. And so I think some Aquariuses might have signed up for courses, right? Going back to school. This is going back to college time for a lot of people. And I think for Aquariuses who are mavericks, they're brilliant, they love information. I think some Aquariuses might be returning to get a higher education. Also, it could be travel for Aquariuses. It could be big business for Aquariuses. Could have something to do with the legal system or politics. And, Aquariuses, I know Aquariuses tend to get into the social all the social political things. So I want you to be careful, Aquariuses, about becoming too inundated in the social political atmosphere that's out there. Burying yourself into that where it becomes you. So be careful about that. And some Aquariuses might have legal issues, so be careful of that as well. But it's positive. Remember, it's Libra. So that is trine, Aquarius. So it's all good for you, Aquarius. So go for it. Pisces, it's happening in your 8th house. Some Pisces might be affected. Their money might be affected. I don't know if it's that you're going to get in more money, or you might have to make deals or make arrangements about money, like insurance, taxes, investments. Maybe you're investing in Bitcoin. I'm not sure. Something like that. But yeah, definitely it is a money time. If you have a partner, especially since we're dealing with Libra, a Libra new moon, if you have a partner, it might be about your partner and money. So it could be that you have a partner who is using your money, or it might be about the partnership of the money between the two of you, or it might be that you have a partner that doesn't have work or doesn't have money or counts on you for money, or any of these scenarios. So just know that it could have something to do with that. Also, I think with it being Libra, it might be a good time for you, and if you have a partner, to really talk about some of the things that your relationship and your money. Okay. All right. Yeah. And some Pisces, it might just be about sex and money. And I don't know how that's going to play out. And we don't want to go too deep into that. Pisces. So next we've got Aries. Aries, this is going to be happening in your 7th house. And that is the 7th house of partnerships. That is, whoever you're with, whoever your significant other is with, Aries. So if you are in a relationship, awesome. It might be that you're getting into a relationship, or establishing the relationship, or building the relationship, or improving the relationship. I mean, some Aries might even be getting married or engaged. This is all about the relationship, Aries. So keep that in mind. The other thing to keep in mind, Aries, is the fact that, well, it's all about other people. So make sure you are reaching out to other people, Aries, during this time. Sometimes Aries is really they're self-contained. They really are. But this is a time to reach out to other people. And so you might be finding that. I would watch out, though. I mean, it is a new moon. You don't want to build any new enemies during this time, because the 7th house is sometimes the house of enemies. Okay, and next is the sign of Taurus. Taurus, this is happening in your 6th house. That's the house of your work, and it's not just work, but your health. It's the things you're doing every day, like making the bed, making your food, cleaning the house, driving the kids to school, all those different things, all those mundane tasks of life. It could just be that you're dealing with, things at your job or your work, things of that nature. So it's really kind of that. But I would think since it's Libra and it's your sixth house and you're up, you're ruled by Venus and Libra's ruled by Venus, I just want to warn Tauruses to watch out for eating too richly, too much meat, too much goodies, too much cake, whatever it might be. Watch out for things like diabetes and stuff like that. And stuff like that might crop up during this time. So, keep your eye on your health. You might, if you go to, say, a workout gym or something, you might even meet a significant other there. I'm just saying. I mean, it is health, right? And the new moon is there. So work on your health and eat healthy. Okay, Taurus? Next is Geminis. Geminis, I love. It's happening in your fifth house. This is all about love and relationships. Some Geminis might be really getting into a new relationship, a romance, a love connection with somebody. And if you're already in one, you might just be reestablishing that love relationship with your special somebody, right? That could be how this is going down. So just be aware of that. Know that's how it's going to play out. Most likely could have something to do with children. It could just be that it's about, taking a chance on life, taking chances, gambling, and I that the fifth house is a house of gambling. It is a house of taking chances. And so I can see where some uh Geminis might be taking a chance. That could be on love, on relationships, on money, on jobs, on a new career, on any of it. And it could just be that you're dealing with children or finding out you might be having a child. Next is the sign of Cancer. Cancer, this is happening in your fourth house. And how amazing is that? Because the fourth house is the house of Cancer. And so, Cancers, you're really going to be feeling maybe some emotion. I would be careful, Cancer, about getting emotional in at home, like fighting with family members. I don't know why I got that vibe. Some Cancers might get a little, you know, fighty, argumentative with people in the home. It might not be that. It might just be you're renewing things in the home. I just thought that because don't forget Mars is going to be on this new moon. So you're going to have Mars and the new moon in Libra squaring your sun most likely, since it's at 14 degrees or 13 degrees. It's going to be hitting probably just about every Cancer. So, I would just be cautious and make sure that your home life is a happy life and that make things pleasant. Burn candles and incense and stay positive. Play meditative music in the background. Keep positive. Stay upbeat. Stay positive during this time. And I think by doing that, you'll be able to get through this. And maybe it'll be that your home life is more romantic. I don't know. It's Libra, right? So it's about the relationships, the partnerships that you're experiencing in the home. So could be that that's part of it. And lastly, we're dealing with Leo. Leo, this is happening in your third house. And the third house is the house of communication. Communicate. Communication. Communicate. Leos communicate. And Leos, you love to shine. So if this is what you love to do, if you're a communicator, then shine, Leo, shine. Communicate. Talk to people. Get your point across. Say what you have to say. Talk to the people in your neighborhood and your community. Reach out to your neighbors. It is about community. Just know that. And it could be about your extended family, like your siblings, your aunts, your uncles, your nieces, your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, all of that. You might have family come in that want to stay with you. And I think if they do, it should be pleasant, except don't forget Mars is on that new moon in Libra. So, it might be energy there. And I wouldn't get into any arguments with neighbors, with friends, or with family members, or anything like that. Also, since Mars is in the third house with this new moon, I want you to be extra careful when you're driving, especially on things like the freeway and stuff like that, because it's Mars, and the third house rules things like local communication, transportation, automobiles. Okay. So, but communicating would be great. This might be a good time to write letters or create digital products that, you can communicate things through. So that's my take for Leo. And that's my take on how I believe this new moon in Libra on the 6th of October will affect the signs, the zodiac signs. So you guys, this is it. I'm out of here. I've been at this for almost an hour. I don't see anyone out there. And that's fine. Okay. But I just wanted to tell you guys that I was here. I said what I had to say. I came, I saw, I spoke, and I believe I conquered. And that's all that matters. Anyway, I'm out of here, you guys. And don't forget to find me at astrologyalookinside.com. Or you can find me on Flicksters at gregarious.flicksters.com. You can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/astrologyalookinside and join my Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/astrologyalookinside. And you can also find me on Instagram at instagram.com/astrologyalookinside and YouTube at youtube.com/astrologyalookinside and at TikTok at astrologyalookins. INS. Okay, you guys, I always have fun when I get to that one. And for those in my group, I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing those readings on Tuesday, but I think I threatened to do it last Tuesday and I didn't have the energy. But I really believe that this Tuesday, I really will do the group readings for group members. So remember to make your donations and I will do said reading. Okay? Anyone who makes a donation, $5 or more, inside of that group will get a reading from me. Okay? That's my promise to you. So much love to you guys. Many blessings and happy new moon in Libra. Blessings, everyone. Bye. Yes. Yes. Much love to everyone. And I'll see you next week.